Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here with you once again. Had a request a couple of days ago for this track, and since I did a tutorial for the Sammy Hagar heavy metal track a while ago, I figured I'd have a look at the Don Felder one as well. Completely different songs, of course, but both from the heavy metal soundtrack. Both called heavy metal, and neither one, even by 1981 standards when these songs were released, sounding anything like actual heavy metal. The Sammy Hagar heavy metal version borders on hard rock to some degree, I suppose. However, the Don Felder heavy metal is just pretty much pop rock. I guess after years of being in an easy listening soft rock band like the Eagles, for the most part, anything this rocking with power chords and distorted guitars is just automatically deemed heavy metal by default. Regardless, not dissing the song itself otherwise, still a great track by Don Felder, heavy or not, with lots of tasty little solo-y bits strewn throughout. That's it. Let's close in, have a look at how to play heavy metal by Don Felder. Alright then, Don Felder and heavy metal, or Take a Ride heavy metal, or heavy metal take a ride, one of those. And we were in standard tuning for this tutorial, and this main riff is pretty easy to play. It's just 4 power chords, right? D into E, G into A. Just a little bit of palm muting, you know, kind of on and off palm muting. So we're starting with just a 2-finger D power chord. We're going to move that into E, hit it 4 times, kind of like that. And then we're going to palm mute the same power chord, downstroke it 4 times, now with the open E string added, right? Kind of like that. Bum, 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 bum. Then we're going to go G into A, not palm muted, and now we're going to palm mute that A 3 times, move it back off to G. Right? And that's pretty much the main riff. We have this little lick that we're going to have to throw in, but we'll get to that. Bum, 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 bum. Right? Repeat. And then we're into that lick. So we're going to play that little lick every second time, right? Coming off that A power chord. So a quick little down up mute, right? Then you're going to grab the 3 of the A, slide it into 4, and then grab a little double stop on the 2s of the D and the G on the upstroke. Right? And you're going to repeat that, but the second time you're going to go off to just open D, open G, and catch that on the upstroke. Kind of like that, right? And then right back to the riff again. Right, and over top of that is, that's going to continue, over top of that is a short intro solo that goes a little something like this. There. So E minor pentatonic work here for the most part. All of the solos in this one are pretty much E minor pentatonic. Natural minor, he digs into the natural minor a little bit. So we're going to start with a rake into the 8th fret of the B string, drop right onto the 9 of the G. Right? Very quick little note there. Just drop right onto that 9, let it ring, right into this. So we're going to grab the 2 of the G string, give it a full step bend, grab the 3 of the B with your pinky, hit it twice, and then release that bend off to open G and just let it ring, right? Into this. So into this box here of the E minor pentatonic, 14th fret, full step bend, roll it up to 14 of the D off to 12, roll that 12 down to the 12 of the G, back onto the 14 for a double hit of the D, right back to that 12 of the G that you're going to give a nice slow full step bend with your index and then choke it off at the top. Kind of like that, right? Finishing up the intro solo with this. So just grabbing the 14 of the G, full step bend, 15 of the B with your pinky, release that bend on 14 off to 12, and then finish with a double hit on the 14 of the D. Right, and that's the intro solo. He kind of comes in with all of these licks one beat early, right? Right, and then we just drop into the main riff again for the first verse, repeated 4 times. Lick, right? Right, again, just every second time you play that lick, except leading into the chorus, coming off that A, you're not going to play it because we're going to drop into an E power chord to start the chorus, right? Kind of just like that. So you're going to go G into A, hit it 2 or 3 times, slide it off to an E power chord, and just let it ring for a bar or 2, right? Take a A for the chorus, G, and let them ring, right? Back into the D to A. Right, so that's the opening of the chorus. Just a bar of A, bar of G. Take a ride, G, on heavy metal. And then just that D into E again. Now, over top of that, he's playing little licks, right? That being one of them here. On 17 of the B string, step and a half bend. Pick it a couple of times at the top. Or rebend. Off to 15, back onto 17, right? Back into A. And then we're going to do this in the middle and at the end of the chorus. Before leading D into E again. So we're all palm muted. We're going to go A, B, C. Right? Bum, bum, bum. Really just starting that off just on the open A. Right? And then we're going to go C, C sharp, D. Right? And then D and E. Right? So that's in the middle and at the end of the chorus. And then back to A for the second half. A to G. Now this time over that D to E we have this. Don't have enough gain for these lead lines way up here. But 17 of the high E, full step bend. Roll it up to 17 of the B off to 15. Roll that down to 15 of the high E back onto 17 for a double hit of the B. And then you're going to take that and raise it another step and a half and give it some vibrato, right? That's the second little fill line. Over that D to E, right? And then back off to A. Bum, 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 into the next verse. Or just the riff again, repeated twice before the vocals come in, right? So that's the verse. I'm going to show you the verse again, just run through it without those little fill lines, right? A to G, coming off an E power chord, right? That, right? Which you're just letting ring. Then we drop into A. A to G. Descending lick, right? Bum, 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 bum. Back to A, into G, A, bum, 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 bum. Next verse, right? Before the vocals come in. And then you play that lick again, like I said, every second time, right? And that leads into the vocals, same riff again, repeated through twice, and then we drop into another chorus, off to E, right? Into G, A into G, right? And again. I think this time he plays this lick. Right there. So he grabs that 17, step and a half, and then he goes 15, 17 down to 15 to the high E, and then back onto 17. And then raises it, right? And then I think the other one is the same. Right, I'm pretty sure. And coming, that's the second chorus. Coming out of the second chorus, we just drop back into the main riff again. Repeated twice, right? Play that lick. And then we drop into the intro solo again. Played exactly the same way. But now we're going to keep going. Now we drop into this lick. So this lick, here's where we get out of the pentatonic and get more of a minor scale flavor. 13 of the B string full step bend. And blue scale actually. 12, 14, 15 of the G. Back to 12 of the B. And then 12, 14, 12 of the G, right? Into this. So 15 of the B, full step bend, grab the 15 of the high E with your pinky, release that bend off to 12. And then a quick little bend to the 14 back to the 12 of the B, right? Right, and then we're into this. So we're just grabbing the 17, we're hanging in this for like 2 bars, just bend, bend, pick it a couple of times, bend, pick, And then after you do that a number of times, we're gonna just take that bend and kind of double time the picking and release it back to the natural note. Step and a half bends, right? Kind of like that, and then slide out of it, right? So from the end of the intro solo that we repeated, right? And then we drop into those bends, right? And then we have these little double stops right there. Very clever. Double stop on the 12s, G and B. Going to move that up to 14 and 13 of the G and the B, and then we're just going to chromatically move it up 2 spots. Right into this lick. So coming out of that final little double stop, we're going to slide into 19 of the G string, down to 17 of the B, into a 2-step bend on the 20th fret of the B string. And release that 2-step bend back off to 17, back up to 19 of the G, and then back to the 17 for a full step bend release. Right? Kind of like that. And then 3 more bends. 3 more full step bend releases of that 20th fret of the B, right? Right, and then back into this again. And at this point we're going to do a big slide down the neck, drop open D onto 2. The 2 of the G string, bend it like 3 or 4 times, release it off to open. Right, back into this. Right, and this time we're going to grab the 20th fret of the E string and give that a 2-step bend. Way up there. Into that lick. So coming out of that 2-step bend on the 20th fret of the high E, right? Release that off to 17 of the B, up to 19 of the G, and then grab that 17 of the B again and give it a full step bend release. And then a few more bends, right? Release it back to the natural note, back it up to 17 and do those bends again. Same thing you did earlier, right? Back to the natural note and slide out of it, and at this point it's all kind of just fading out. If you want to keep going, drop back into that again. Drop back into that again, right? And there you go. That is how you play Take a Ride, heavy metal, Take a Ride, Don Felder. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind and kind of helpful to my channel. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.